Hey guys, Curdhos here from Hostyle Conditioning and Hostyle Kettlebell Systems, my good friend here, Tobin, Decou. And today we want to go over the progressions on the windmill, the Kettlebell Windmill. So again, we like using this. It's a great mobility workout for your hips, for your ankles, and your shoulders. But it's the kind of move that we want to show 2 or 3 variations because not everybody's ready to do a full windmill. And I think that's the part where a lot of people get hurt or frustrated or intimidated when they see it and stuff. So, Tom, what are the 3 versions we're going to do today?
Well, first, I'd just like to touch on what it affects. People see it as a shoulder exercise because you do a lot of rotation. There's a lot of core, a lot of obliques, and there's a lot of hip and hip flexors and IT band. So it's kind of one of those exercises that whatever you need, that's what you're going to think it's for. So it's basically for all of the above, but if you have a weakness in one way or another, it'll expose it. So if your flexibility is an issue, you'll find out.
Yeah, basically wherever your trouble spots are, they're going to get affected the most from it. So it's a great all-in-one movement that'll hit the whole body, mobility and stability-wise as well. It's very important when we're doing the typical windmill that not only are we working on mobility, able to move through it, but also have the stability to hold the weight. And the different parts of them, the different types we're going to do today are going to have more progressive workload or more difficulty factor to it, where the stability is going to be very important overall. So the first one we'll teach will just be empty-handed. Okay?
So basically you want to stand on one leg, and we always like to refer to this as being sexy.
Tobin does. That's all right.
You don't use it?
I use disco, man. I'm disco.
The disco.
I'm on disco, so either way it works.
So you lean on your back leg. So basically you stand straight, you stand square, pivot both heels over to a 45 degrees angle, more or less, and then lean on the back leg. So the back leg is always locked out. The front leg can be a little loose, your knee doesn't need to be bent. The back leg has to be locked. And at that point, you put one hand above, the same side as your sexy side.
Disco.
Is this sexy?
It's disco to me.
And then all of a sudden, you just go down. So I like to keep my hand on the inside of the leg and follow along your leg. Keep pushing out the hip. Okay? You don't want, a lot of people start doing the windmill and they start going forward on the forward leg. Right? So you want to keep pushing back on the hip, feeling that tension, feeling that strain on the IT band and the glutes and the hips and everything. And the upper hand, when you have a kettlebell, you start rotating hand back, so you might as well do it when you have no kettlebell. So standing straight up, palm forward, going down, rotates.
And exactly like Tom was saying, go back down one more time. When I'm trying to figure out as well what people's shoulder mobility is like, I'll come around and I'll make them work it this way. So I get a chance to see what's working, what's not working, and it gives me an idea where I'm going to work with them overall. But see, when his shoulder is pushed down like this and fully turned around, the stability is phenomenal there. He's going to be able to hold resistance there, right? Most people don't know how to do that or can't do it if they don't rotate their arm and they go back down. So let's go back down without rotating their arm. And all of a sudden, I put a weight in their hand, boom, it's going to come down, smash them right in the face.
Or you dislocate your shoulder.
Or just like dislocate your shoulder, like you said. I'm always more concerned about my kettlebells getting damaged. But, you know, personal safety is number 2, for sure, overall. So, and again, it's a great way to teach the technique empty-handed so people aren't stressed out about the weight. They're not focusing on the weight, and they get a chance to really feel what they're supposed to be feeling through this movement. So again, that would be the empty-handed one. We would do both sides. Typically, we'll do what, 3 to 5 per side. Switch to the other side. And again, the other thing like Tom was saying is pushing him forward, but also leaning slightly forward as well. I often see people try to lean right sideways, and nothing's going to work that way. The body just doesn't move that way. So you're slightly going forward over your foot as you drive that hip back. So very, very important overall. When I see, excuse me, that people are doing it and they're feeling more comfortable and they're able, you know, even at the bottom, hold that position for a little bit, you know, okay?
Enjoy the stretch.
Yeah, enjoy the stretch, you know, own the stretch, I like to say, own the movement. And they come up and they start to master that and feel a little confident. Then I like to move to the second version, which would be the weight at the bottom.
So same setup, both feet are straight, pivot the heels out towards the sexy side or the disco side. Hand up. And so then at that point you want to place the other kettlebell right by your foot, right inside your foot. Then you sexy it out, then we're coming down and grab onto your kettlebell. Hold your breath for a second. And you want to exhale as your hips drive through. Hold your breath a little bit, control.
Exactly.
It's really important. I like to keep it on the inside. Personally, I like to keep my palm out, but it's not a big importance.
Yeah, I think that'll also matter on people's shoulder mobility. What's important as well too is that when he comes up, the kettlebell is now in front of him here by the center of his gravity. He's not holding it way out to the side, right? So again, he's stacking everything on top. His body can hold it all, he can support that weight for a long time. And again, working on the fundamentals. Before he goes down, pushes that hip out, disco style, and his hands rotating as well. Always get used to doing that. And then the other thing I like to have people do is when they're doing that, is to look at their hand, because once we progress to the point where the weight's in their hand, you know, one of our rules here is that you don't take your eyes off that kettlebell. So two things happen. You're focusing on that, and it's teaching you to find the kettlebell, excuse me, without actually seeing it. Relying on your movement, knowing it's going to get you low enough. And back up. And again, 3 to 5 per side, and then we would switch. And then from that point on, we go into what they call the regular windmill, or regular windmill, where now we're taking the weight, we're holding the weight above our head as we do it.
So let's keep the same stance. Let's take it to the same stance. Let's not change it up right now. So both feet are straight, turning both on the same side. The sex is on the same side. But this time, you're not going to put the kettlebell on the left hand. You're going to reach for it on the right hand. So start, square off. You do your nice clean and press or a snatch. Pivot your heels over, sexy it out. At this point, be aware of your kettlebell. So once you sexy it out, you start going down, you start rotating your shoulder, keeping that stability. You may keep your hand on the inside of your leg just to stabilize you, almost like spotting yourself. Hands back, you can go a little further. And stand up with authority a little bit. You don't want to stand up in the sprint. You don't want to stand up and turn it around. Exactly. But you definitely want to stand up with a little bit of an extra little control.
From the bottom, you have to reverse engine, basically. You have to give a little bit of shove up. You have to break the inertia at that point.
Right.
And the one thing that's really important is you see Tobin is never taking his eyes off that kettlebell. At the bottom, he's working on holding it. For some people, they can't go as low, so let's do it. If that's as low as you can get, that's what you do. If you need to brace yourself against that leg with your hand.
You need to go wider first, as long as your leg is back.
Absolutely. It's definitely a feel exercise as far as go down as safe as you feel to go down initially until you get confident with it. Also, weight selection is important as well. No one says you have to start with a 16-kilo kettlebell. Use a 4, use an 8, you know, use a 5-pound plate, something that, you know, the weight isn't the super big concern, so it allows you to still focus on form, because when your form is right and you're stacking properly, you'll be able to triple the weight. But if your form is off, it's merciless up there. So what happens is if that form starts going off while you're on top there, that kettlebell's going to start dancing, you're going to dislocate your shoulder, you're going to tear something, you're going to smash yourself in the skull with it, and that's not the purpose of this exercise. This is a mobility, stability exercise. You do 3 to 5 reps at a time, rest a few seconds, repeat 3 or 4 times. It's a great way to work on bringing your heart rate down from something more high-end like swings or snatches or high pulls. You can use this to sort of bring your heart rate down. You can use this coming out of the workout before your cool down to really bring everything down. Focus on your mobility when your body's at its most flexible, right? So that's when you want to use something like this. This is not meant to be 150 reps. It's not meant to be done super fast. It's a deliberate, focused exercise.
Enjoy it.
Exactly.
So to wrap it up, feet square, pivot your feet, arm up, kettlebell up, or kettlebell down, doesn't matter at that point. Throw out the hips, sexy it out, follow on the inside. If your leg is bent, that's fine, as long as all your weight is on the back leg. If you have flexibility, straighten out both legs, stand up with a bit of authority. So when you stand up, you want to drive the hip back through, just like powerlifting 101, right? So squeeze the glutes, drive the hips through. And then, before you execute the last one, the next one, sexy it out again, and then go back. Drive. So I don't want a lot of people go.
Yeah, or they'll come all the way up, or they come up.
It's like, oh no, finish it, stack it all up, re-engage, and go.
And the same with the hand. When you go back up, and you're coming back up with that hand, you come back up. It's bicep to the ear, palm forward. Yeah. Right? That's how you restart everything.
Not out here. Keep control. A lot of people will go down, and they come up, and all of a sudden they forget to bring the bicep back to the ear. So as they're going up, they're like, oh, I'm losing the kettlebell. So they're common little things you find along the way.
Take your time, be smooth with it. Always be smooth. This is a deliberate exercise, as I say. So go through your steps properly. No one says those 3 reps have to be done in 10 seconds. Yeah. Take your time. And you know what? When you do that, you focus on the form, especially that hip, you know you're going to get a lot more stretch and mobility out of it. You're going to feel it over the next couple of days.
Yeah. Runners love this, because the IT band you shoot, it really attacks your IT band. Runners love it.
It's excellent. All right, guys, it's curdhos from Hostyle Conditioning and Decou saying, crush it.